Hello, today we're going to talk about 3/4 time signature. Now, what does that mean? Drums have got difficult enough to try and pick up, and here I come along with odd time signatures just to really confuse you. 3/4 time means we're normally used to listening to things in 4/4 time. The normal rock beats you'll have seen at very beginner levels on my channel, most other curriculums will start with 4/4 time. Now that means there's 4 quarter notes or beats in a bar of music. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and now that's me counting eighth notes just to confuse things. The eighth notes would mean you go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and just subdividing those quarter notes into 8 times. When we've been playing on the hi-hat before, most rhythms we've done have had eighth notes on them. So we're going bass and snare and bass, bass, snare. That, for example, is eighth notes over a 4/4 beat. So what we're going to do now is to change that to 3/4. Instead of thinking 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, we're going to take the 4 and away and just make it 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and back and 2 and 3 and. Yeah, I know, it's tricky. Keep up though. So to get folk into 3/4 time thinking in the right time signature, what I usually do is get people just playing a straight beat, just like bass and snare and bass and snare. You're just playing that just to get them in the right time, and then we'll add some more difficult rhythms with some 16th notes in there. See how you guys can handle that. Now, if you don't have a kit, if you don't have a practice pad, I think you should tap this out on your legs with me. See if you can keep time with that. There's no harm in you trying to keep time with something you're watching here, and then at a later date, if you decide to go near a kit, sit on a kit or a pad, then at least you've got the understanding. You've been able to watch this and keep track of what it is I'm talking about and how to count it. So the first one we're going to look at, as I said, basic bass and snare, and so this would just be like the normal first rock beat you ever done, but we're taking one whole beat away. So how it goes, look at the notation on your screen: 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3. Okay, so if we moved one of those basses about, which we'd normally do in a standard rock beat, just keep the hands the same, then this one you could confuse yourself by putting the bass on the very last and, so the and of 3. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. Right, so we'll do one more, just moving an extra bass in there, and we'll make a bass on the 1, the and of 2, and on the 3. So that would go 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3. Now, if we start adding 16th notes on the bass and the snare and making this a little bit more complicated, go back as many times as you need to, play this back, tap along with it, just till you get an understanding of these notes that are playing at the same time as the hi-hat. Once that's in your head and you've got no problem coming back 3 and 1, then moving on to add 16th notes becomes a little bit easier. When it's not easy, that means you've not done the first part long enough. Just go back and do it again, as long as it takes for you to understand the second part. So part 2, adding 16th notes on. What we're going to do is change beat 3. So it says 3 E and A. So all 16th notes are getting filled in there. So it's going 1 and 2 and 3 E and A, 1 and 2 and 3 E and A. So again, look at the notation on the screen. We're adding a bass on the E of 3 and a snare on the A of 3. So we're going 1 and 2 and 3 E and A. I'll play it a few times for you nice and slow, see if you can keep up. 1, 2 and 3 E and A, 1. So, if I play that a little bit faster, see how it sounds. Still with us? Still keeping up? Good. We'll try and add one more. This one I like. The 16th notes involved here are going 1 E and a, 2 and a, 3 E and. So, and it's a mixture of basses and snares. So again, have a look at notation here and see if you can understand as I go slow. So 1 E and a, 2 and a, 3 E and 1 E and a, 2 and a, 3 E and. But a little bit without me talking, see if you can keep track of it. Let's play a little bit faster, see how that one feels. Lovely. Now, last one I think we should do. Let's make it a little bit busier. We'll go 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a. Yep, everything's filled in there, no gaps. Yeah, it gets a bit tricky. Again, if this is not making sense to you, go back and watch the earlier ones and work your way up. As soon as they all make sense and you can tap through them, even on your legs or on a practice pad, without getting confused, then have a go at this one again, slowly. Just as many times as you need to. That's why it's on video. Play it back as many times as you have to. I'm going to do it faster, see how it sounds. Again, odd time signatures can be a bit weird and a bit hard to get your head round at first because our little brains are pre-programmed to thinking 4/4 all the time. Pop, rock, anything disco that you hear throughout the years and as you're growing up. It's always 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it can be a little hard to train out, but and when other folk are listening to you, it's going to sound like you're doing some sort of magical thing on the drums because they're still counting 4 and you're away back to 1. So that's how it sounds like you're changing every single time you go around the bar at first. So it's worth getting down. It makes you sound more interesting as a drummer. You can play different time signatures, and obviously this is a little bit more moving beginner into intermediate when you're advancing 16th notes into odd time signatures. So again, if you're new to the drums and this sounds a bit confusing to you, don't worry about it. Come back to it later when you're more competent at it.